My wife gave birth to a child and I was not the father of that child. When I get to know this, what I did to her will make you astonish. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another amazing episode of RCS Today. I'm going to let you know about the amazing story. But before going towards it, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please go ahead and do subscribe to our channel and test the bell icon for the latest updates. Who said we live according to our desire? If life is easy peasy task, how can we act as an ignorant child to it? We work too hard, just too hard beyond our limits to gain what we want to and live according to our desires. Isn't an irony that looking towards a sun, we spend our lives, but in reality, we have sunflowers that will get destroyed under the heat of the same sun. I don't want to go beyond limit, but life kept chasing me. I ran and ran and ran to reach a point where I could enjoy my own euphoria. But all went in way. I was living a happy married life. But where I could enjoy my own euphoria when I didn't have a big idea of that. My married life was my life story too. My life was my class fellow back in our university. She was a beautiful 22 years old, you know, and she was as beautiful as she can be. Her brown eyes were a metaphor of hope in my life. Her cheeks, they shine like my glory and my dreams. She was as mysterious as tale of Harry Potter, and that's what I loved in her personality. There are some parts of being an introvert personality and that can affect the whole aura of one's personality. She did the same for me. I felt like my every perception is a lie that can be told to children in any of their tales. I lie as sweet as sugar. Her smile was the validation of everything I was doing in my life. Whenever I do something for her, I look at her face for her validation. And when sometimes I don't get that validation, I felt like I have lost something precious from the trigger of nature. This could be my whole life. But as I told you, my friend, she was mysterious as one can be. After our marriage, things started changing. She slowly and gradually started degrading my love and personality. I understand that when a man gets something in his hands, he don't care about it anymore. Now he valued the things in the same way. She did the same, and it was very hard for me to accept that thing. But I did because what else I could do? Human nature keeps on changing. And that is the complexity of it. On our first night when we had sex, things became different. I loved her in the same way. But she was a different person. I could see that and could sense it in my every cell. But I was helpless. She grew distant from time. I started working like a machine because I had to make a secure future for me and my family. Now when she was having a bun in the oven, story of life moved in a beautiful manner for me, because when a child is born, it makes your relationship with your family stronger and beautiful. I took care of her in pregnancy and provided her whatever she needed. During those 9 months, whenever she needed to use the toilet, I held her in my hands and took her there just to make it less painful for her. Finally, after 9 months, when it was this time for her delivery, I received an email which was my fertility report, and it says that my sperms are not healthy enough to impregnate a woman. This was quite shocking for me. But then I thought it could be a prank done by my friend when I confirmed that it was not him. So I sent my sample again to the laboratory for test. After a week, when I got the results of the test, they were mentioning the same thing. It was quite horrible for me. In the meanwhile, a new family member was included in that family, and that was our daughter. It was a very weird experience for me. She was very cute and very fragile, as I'm holding a doll made of mud. When I felt her small existence in my lab, I promised myself that whatever it will happen in my life, I will not harm her at any cost. I never discussed with anyone, not even with my wife, that I'm having doubts that she's having extramarital affair in my life, because my reports are saying something else. It was a very sensitive matter and I was not in a position to take any step without any proof. So I searched for what is happening on the background and I found things that they were quite messed up as he didn't have intimate relationship with me. But 3 other dudes too. It was shocking for me. It was also horrible as I cannot believe that my woman can cheat on me like this way. It seemed like I was not enough to fulfill her sexual desires. So she did what she could do best in her regard to fulfill her lust. It created an inferiority complex in me that I'm unable to fulfill a desire of a woman. Law didn't make me a proper man with high. So I rail any woman I went up to her desire. The reality is that I'm a loser in bedtime. Worse. I had to take revenge from her. But what could I do worst in her regard? A wrench for capturing her red-handed on the bed with some other dude and then give her divorce right away or something even worse than that. This could continuously going on in my mind. And I was not able to think of anything good but the evil ideas to punish her in the most horrible ways. After thinking for days, finally, I reached to a conclusion. But later on that decision made me regret a lot. Not that much maybe, but anyone on hearing it cannot regard it as a good idea. A daughter which was not actually my daughter was used in this plan. I waited for too long with that thing in my mind. I came up with the most horrible idea of revenge. One can say she was on her best age of life. She was much prettier than her mom in her adulthood. Her body was lean and her, bosoms were as down as the dome of some holy place under which there lies the spirituality of my soul. I tried approaching her in the beginning. She felt, kind of weird but too happy that now her dad becomes her daddy. And was so excited that I will be doing all the evil, and that will be with this particular woman which I did to her mother on the first night of her marriage. But she never regarded it. I wanted to spoil her child when she got undressed. I was shocked to see that her lean body resembled the figure of her mom too much. I was afraid for a while to touch her, but she was shaking her days before me that I could not resist that I had a hard court sex with her that lasted for almost 1 hour and her moaning sounds while orgasms were echoing in the home as someone is dying on their back in the most horrible way. But who knows what I made her feel with my sword in between her legs. All of us said my wife came in the home after work, and that is where it gets interesting because when she was entering the house, I was coming out of my daughter's room with my top button open and my, rough hair. When she looked at me, she got confused for a while because that's how I plan to portray it. She asked me that what I was doing inside and I told her that I was teaching her a useful lesson in her life with the coldest look on my face. She got more confused but could not guess anything when she finally entered in her daughter's room and she saw her laying there without clothes. She rushed towards me and asked me that what I did to her. And at that point, I told her that I took a revenge of her from her daughter. She asked me to elaborate and then I told her about my reports. And I also told her that I knew that you were having a relationship with that other guy too. This is my revenge and you deserved exactly what I did with you. Now, when I have fertile sperms, I will impregnate your daughter. So you will get to realize that you are a curse on our family. And your filthy existence has given us nothing in life but pain with betrayal and cheating. Kudos to you for having sex with guys. There are thousands of ticks waiting for you to write that.